Good morning, babies. Hi. How are you? Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is a general message, so take what resonates and leave the rest. And we shall get into it. Use your own intuition, babies. But also, may I suggest being open to the possibilities and exploring and becoming curious as well. Just saying. I'm here to help you do internal work. All right. So I'm called to share my no moment. Yesterday, I indulged in some gossip. Yeah, I did. And I usually don't, but it was about like this. I was catching up with a person that had known me from a while back, and they like knew that this like guy did something to me, and he was like asking about that. And apparently I have some like resentments from that situation. Yeah, the guy like definitely like crossed like physical boundaries with me and stuff like that. So I obviously have some sort of resentment or something holding me back in regards to that, but I definitely indulged in it. And leaving the conversation, I didn't even feel like guilty or anything. So I was like, oh, thinking about it, like reflecting back at the end of the day, and I was like, oh man. So let's get into it. Because our first card here is the Exorcist in reverse, and it says fear of facing your own demons. So, and with that popping up, that's telling me that, yes, you're here to call people out, and, you feel the need to like expose the truths and stuff like that. But also, yes, you are a good person, but you still mess up from time to time, and you still do, you slip up and indulge in low vibrational things. And you're just meant to hold yourself accountable for that and still face those yucky parts of yourself. I mean, the work doesn't stop. Just because you're at this point doesn't mean that you're just good. Like, it doesn't mean that you can fall back on old things or, indulge in some lower vibrational stuff. Like, you have to keep doing it. The first song that I got on shuffle is Weeping Willow by Warren Ziders. I'm just gonna read the little bit of it. That girl can take a gray sky and paint it blue. She can put the smooth in a 90 proof. She can hang the moon in a sundress, even put a sinner on a front pew. She can make a shiny diamond out of West Virginia coal. She can put a smile on a weeping willow. There's something in the way that girl moves. It's like a spotlight follows her around through a crowded room. She showed up like rain on a desert rose, and where I'd be without her, God only knows. That girl can take it gray sky painted blue. She can put the smooth in a 90 proof. So what I'm getting from here is like, yes, you have the responsibility, especially because you're doing the work and holding these higher vibrations. You have the responsibility to hold things at a lighter, a higher vibration. So like, she can put a smile on a weeping willow. Like, it's your responsibility to shift the dynamic, shift conversations, shift the energy in rooms and, just wherever you go. And, then eventually the world, because by each of those little movements and shifts in energy, that takes over, that makes, that all culminates to a giant shift. So, it's your responsibility to shift the energy from these lower vibrations, put a smile on a weeping willow, to shift the dynamics. Like that's your responsibility. We also have judge, and it fell in reverse as well. Offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, or criminal authority. So just that might be you kind of being this is probably gonna be so triggering, but because you have done the work and you are in a higher vibration and you're like, I've been through the fire, man, I've seen it all, like that might put you in this like self-righteous energy to where you feel that you have the ability to judge people. Before you shut off the video and go be mad at me or something, I do encourage you to, you know, do a little self-evaluation on this, on how you could be subtly doing this without knowing. Because that's what I'm getting, is this is stuff that we need to uncover that, you know, still is lingering within the shadows, within the darkness that we haven't looked at. And so we got the exorcist and the judge both in reverse. So fear of facing your own demons, offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, or criminal authority. So you check yourself that you're not using your, your spiritual authority in controlling ways, to put someone below you, or the way you speak to someone, be like, well, I've done this, I'm better. Like, not that you're saying that exactly. It's probably super subtle and you're not even aware of it. It's almost like you're judging people for being where they are at. So just being mindful of that. Because truthfully, you're probably doing some lower vibrational stuff that you need to look at yourself. And especially if someone's at that point where they're not going to hear it, it's your responsibility to be open to the criticisms, the possibility that you might be indulging in some lower vibrational stuff, controlling people, asserting your spiritual authority on them when it's not necessary. You got to let them come to their own, it's like people could tell you to be a good person all day and act in a certain way, but you have to hit that certain point where, you can keep living by example, but these people have to hit a certain point in their life where they have no other option than to turn to this, to turn to be a better person. And that's what I'm getting is, especially with the weeping willow, like it's just your responsibility to hold that high vibration, shift these negative energies into something else. Now I gotta go into the other song. God's Gonna Cut You Down by Johnny Cash. You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, God'll cut you down. Sooner or later, God'll cut you down. Go tell that long-tongued liar. Go tell that midnight rider. Go tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him God's gonna cut him down. Well, my goodness gracious, let me tell you the news. My head's been wet with the midnight dew. I've been down on bended knee, talking to the man from Galilee. He spoke to me in a voice so sweet, I thought I heard the shuffle of angels' feet. He called my name and my heart stood still when he says, Johnny, go do my will. Go tell that long-tongued liar. Go tell that midnight rider. Go tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. So it's funny because the card that we got is the gambler in reverse. Relying on luck rather than hard work. So make sure, yes, you have spiritual authority. You can call righteous judgment on people. You can call people out on their shit, right? That's, you can do that. and that's okay if you feel it necessary, but make sure that you're walking the walk as well. You know, it's really easy to get caught up in like watching people be like, wow, can you believe that? Can you believe that this person is acting this way? They're gossiping and all that. And by you like just having that self-righteous energy, that's lowering your vibration. And that might be part of like, you know, you've done the hard work and you think that you're kind of done with something, instead of you know, staying diligent and being open to oh, I still have work to do. Oh man, now I'm I'm oh god, I can't think of, I'm spiritually pretentious now. Like that's what I'm getting, is like you're pretentious and being like, peasant, you know, like when in fact you were there too. Yes, we've all come from like the deepest depths, the worst, you know, behaviors, but that doesn't mean we've stopped those things, and we need to take a look at, and they might have morphed, you know, because our ego and our brain are so damn smart and tricky that they don't want to do the work, especially the ego. So they may have, you know, morphed your way of thinking, and you know, the like shifted how you express these behaviors to where you don't catch it, because you're like, well, I'm self-righteous, like I'm righteous, I'm in the right, I'm doing the right thing, when in fact, like, you know, by you thinking this way and like judging this person for being in a lower vibration, that's lowering your energy as well. You're acting in a lower vibrating thought process. Man, I know y'all are gonna be so freaking triggered by this message. I love you. I'm probably gonna get like so much like gaslighting in the comments. I get that so much when I do these types of messages. Or a lot of, this message isn't for me. It may not be, but I encourage you to take a deep look. That may be a thing. But with this, God's gonna cut you down. All you gotta worry about for these people is leading by example, because God's gonna take care of that situation. Your job, go do my will. Your will is to just lead by example, be the greatest leader you can be. So that's by, like with the Weeping Willow song, changing the dynamics. Say you're caught up in a low vibrating workspace. You have the ability and responsibility to shift that energy by leading by example. Shift the conversations, you know, step away and don't engage, instead of, you know, being like, I can't believe you did that. Like, you can, it's easier to lead by example than, you know, coming to someone and being like, oh, you're a bad person. It's harder to hear that, and their ego is not going to have it. And if someone is not wanting to do the work and not willing to hear any of that, that's just going to agitate their demons even more. I didn't even look at these cards. I was just like grabbing them. We have mentor in reverse. How perfect. Let's see, what does it say? Inability to allow the students to move on to the role of master. Imparting false instruction. So that's kind of like falling back into that, like God, this is gonna piss so many people off, but you need to hear it. There might be this mentality, or like your ego, because you have done so much work and you know you have the spiritual authority, it's almost like you don't want to let people rise in vibration because you want to be like the highest vibrating, you want to be the best. There might be some of that, or like you don't want to share all your secrets of like how you rose to this or what you went through or what you did. Like you're kind of edgy or cagey about it. Like you don't want to share this stuff. So check yourself and really, evaluate if you're still in this message, if you're still willing to hear what I have to say. If not, then, your ego is running rampant right now. So just take some breaths. I love you so much. I'm just doing this because I care. Um, um, yeah, observe that you're not just like wanting to have this like hierarchy of like, oh, I'm spiritually higher than you, or I've done more work, I am above you in this work. Make sure you're not like, make sure that you're not getting triggered if you start seeing people raise in vibration and turning better when you're used to them being like low vibe shitty people. Like, and you have to like say they start shifting like rapidly, like faster than what you had to do. Like this is just all part of it. Like you were meant to say, I'm just saying this because that may be like part of what triggers you, is like they have the rapid transformation, more rapid than what you thought, and you're like, well, how is that fair? You were meant to be this leader and go through like the harder shit, or also you may have just been stubborn as hell. But you were meant to be a leader. You were meant to go through it even harder, to hold your essence, your body, your spirit was meant to hold this beacon, this light for these people to follow. And you were meant to like expose how to do it. Like you were meant to cut through to find the truth. And so that's why you had to go through it harder. This part may not resonate for everyone, but I just feel that there's some people watching this that have experienced that, and they like get like the tinge of jealousy, or they have some sort of I don't know how to describe it, but an icky feeling about it, like, well, that's not fair. And then so you quit sharing, or like you let jealousy and your ego kind of take over with this person when they're actually raising in vibration and doing the work. I guess I'll throw some tarot on it real quick. I do have to cut it eventually, but I know this is going to trigger so many people. Y'all get so triggered in the comments. I'm just a channel for the message here, people. I'm not doing it because I'm mean. I do encourage you to be curious to the message, though. Oh my. Yeah. So we have the Death card in reverse. And that's just telling me like you're holding on to something. You're not letting something fall off, which is probably this pretentious, like needing to be above people because of what you've gone through and like where you're at right now. That mentor in reverse of like not wanting to see people rise to your level or even surpass you at a rapid speed. Just being aware that you're not holding on to this, like, I need to have this position and I need to be, because that's like a tyrant. You might be being a spiritual tyrant. Not, it's very subtly, I'm saying, because, unless you're going around like, really, God's gonna cut you down, just like over the top. It's very subtle, and I'm just getting that it just needs to be looked at, and make sure that you're not holding on to this, like, because that ego wants, we have to be the best, we have to be, especially if you've been in this position where you have, authority over others spiritually, or, you're a little further than them. You got to let that go, because some people may surpass you because that's their path. That, you got to let God do the thing. You got to let universe do the thing. So take a look at that. I love you so much. Don't be mad. And this is telling me, we have the Lovers card. This is telling me especially with the world in reverse after that. Oh my. Oh my. All of them are major arcanas. Fuck yeah. Okay. So that's telling me this is why you haven't come into whatever you're holding on to in regards to this, that like spiritually pretentious energy. That's why you haven't come into these unions that you've been wanting. That's holding you back from this community because you're holding yourself above the community. You're holding yourself, you know, it could be, I have 444 on my clock. I was called to look at it. That could be, you know, you're thinking above this person, that you're above everyone, or, you know, and it's not conscious. It may not be conscious. It may just be this really subtle, like, you know, the ego takes over and like blocks you from consciously seeing this. That you think that you're above pretty much everyone. So that's blocking you from meeting, like, you know, the perfect lover or the perfect friend group and stuff like that, because your ego is keeping you above people, separate, isolated. You know, and that's telling me that this shadow side of you, your ego, is keeping you from community when you were blaming somebody else. Or, you know, you're blaming spell work or something of that. Like, you have free will still, no matter what anybody's throwing at you, any of that. You have the ability to overcome that. And it's your responsibility. Yes, people be throwing nasty stuff at you, but you have the free will and the ability to overcome and rebuke and block anything. We also have the Judgment underneath the deck. So this is asking you to rise out of that like shadow ego part, because I'm seeing like all the dark stuff, like bats and stuff, and the dove flying out of that. But beware that you don't think you're above people, that you're more pure than people, you know, others around you. Because see how there's that white versus the black here? That's showing that you're thinking, like, catch yourself and try to not think that you're above, you know, the others around you, because that's blocking you from community and having these great connections. They may be a little lower vibration than you, but you're meant to guide them. And then if you start seeing that they're surpassing you, that's when you need to turn to the student. Everything is fluid, you know? There might be things you know more about that they don't know. They know more about that you don't know. Be open to that. Be open to shifting into the student and learning from people, because we all have different perspectives. We all have a purpose. And, you know, Most High, God, Spirit, your spirit team, universe, place them in this, you know, space in your life for a reason, probably so you can overcome this part of yourself and come into, you know, union and community by shifting into, oh fuck yeah, I didn't even catch this. We had the student in reverse at the bottom of this deck. What does it say? Arrogance in the pursuit of destructive knowledge, unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. So there might, like, you know, this whole message, I'm really trying not to beat the shit out of you for this. Like, I'm really trying to say this in a tactful way so it doesn't trigger as many people. Like, you know, I really just want to encourage everyone to look at this part of themselves. You have the knowledge and you know this, but your ego and your mind have worked together to kind of block you, kind of blind you from this part of yourself. So just take a good look. Don't come at me I mean, you can come at me in the comments, whatever. I'm just going to block you from commenting anymore. So just be mindful. I don't have tolerance for that anymore. But take a look, be curious. Look in the mirror, look within, because you're meant to lead. You're meant to be an example, and that's sometimes biting the bullet and being like, yeah, I fucked up. Ugh, sorry. I love you, babies. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please do the work. Please be curious and be willing to look at this. I love you so much. Bye.